Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Castle Xanadu, dark, foreboding, rising like a behemoth over this savage land at the center of the earth. Although it was constructed atop a still functioning abandoned alien base built about 70 million years ago, the castle itself was of my own design and construction. And let me tell you, it was an expensive monument to construct, and I can tell you this. I couldn't have afforded this castle if I'd lost 50% of my value like Disney has. In March 2021, Disney stock was valued at $201.91 a share, and now it's down in the $91 a share range, a loss of over 50%. I recently read that some scientists believe it wasn't a giant asteroid that drove the dinosaurs to extinction. Given these figures, I can only surmise they were wiped out by investing in Disney. Greetings, my friends. If you visualize Disney as a giant dam containing a river of investment, I am here to tell you today that cracks are forming in that dam and investment dollars are leaking away as investors wake up to the realization that Disney doesn't seem to care about making the money. I can't understand how investors have been seemingly oblivious to this obvious fact. Disney has, after all, issued a string of box office bombs that have lost Disney easily $1 billion when all is said and done, probably more. They haven't paid investors a dividend since COVID hit until very recently when they coughed up a relatively small token dividend these past few weeks under pressure from Nelson Peltz and Trian Fund Management. I suspect investors are starting to wake up to the notion that Disney is prioritizing their ESG garbage over profits for investors due to Nelson Peltz sounding the alarm with his massive megaphone as he attempts to storm his way onto the Disney board, driven by, what else? A desire to see Trian Management Fund's investment dollars reap rich rewards for their investors, something that Peltz has given up on absent fundamental changes at Disney. And Peltz is doing his best to bring those changes to Disney now, but while he makes his bid to get seats on the Disney board, other investors are fed up and have announced that they're liquidating their Disney holdings and jumping ship for other companies that actually care about making money. Case in point, South Carolina. Yes, my friends, South Carolina is now quoting the great Jim Morrison of The Doors, singing, "This is the end, my only friend, the end of their fiscal relationship with Disney, and thus the first cracks in the Disney dam are starting to show."
Like you, Doomcock, I'm surprised it's taken this long for investors to see that Disney isn't necessarily operating in their best interests. Disney has a very weird business philosophy, dude. Let's make products targeting a tiny minority of the market, featuring a bunch of extremist crap that the majority doesn't like. Oh yeah, that's gonna put asses in theater seats. And Disney is somehow surprised that Disney Plus has yet to turn a profit when they put woke garbage like the current season of Doctor Who on their channel, a franchise that is even deader than I am. No one wants to see that shit, and until Disney stops trying to shove wokeness down everybody's throat and starts making stuff consumers actually want to purchase, they'll continue to damage their own brand past the point of no return.
Apparently, the government of South Carolina agrees with you, O Skull of Calderon. In an article titled "Tremendous Loss to America," South Carolina is dumping $105 million of Disney investments due to structural rot in the company. Treasurer warns the sane people are now gone. Time to sell Disney? Yahoo Finance breaks the situation down thusly, quote, "The story of Disney has been far from a fairy tale of late. Tesla CEO Elon Musk recently called for CEO Bob Iger to be fired immediately, and now South Carolina is pulling its state funds out of the entertainment conglomerate. According to South Carolina State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, the decision to divest has to do with the company's management abandoning their fiduciary responsibilities. Quote, "I think it's clear to anybody paying attention that there's a structural rot inside of Disney. It's deep, it's pervasive, and I suspect Bob Iger, since his return as the CEO, now realizes it can't be fixed," unquote, he told Fox Business Digital, adding that it does not bode well for the future of the company. Fox Business Digital reported that the portfolio of the state treasurer's office included $105 million in Disney debt securities, which will not be renewed upon maturity, unquote. Okay, folks, now here's the most interesting motivation behind this defection, and I salute South Carolina State Treasurer for this revelation. One of the big reasons they're bailing on Disney is ESG. The article continues, quote, "Loftus criticized Disney's embrace of environmental, social, and governance criteria, arguing that it deviates from the core principles of investing. People sometimes forget that ESG has nothing to do with investing," he said. "ESG is a speech and behavior code that was created by the left and delivered to everybody else under these virtuous circumstances or presumed circumstances."
There! That hits it square on the head, Doomcock. ESG has nothing to do with investing. ESG is not interested in making money for investors. ESG is essentially stealing money from investors in order to fund their extremist woke attempt to brainwash the world into agreeing with their agenda. Yes, and Disney is the perfect vehicle for the subversion of our youth and their indoctrination into sexual and cultural extremist positions their parents may not agree with, and may even find contrary to their values. Disney thinks it knows better how your children should be raised, and they hope you're not paying attention to the brainwashing messaging and shows going directly into your children's minds, straight from Disney Plus.
ESG is simply a tool of anti-capitalist enemies of this country used to undermine our values and weaken us from within. If they actually cared about making the world a better place, they'd be trying to bring us all together with excellent and thoughtful entertainment that doesn't tell you what to think, but raises questions that invite you to think. The original Star Trek did precisely that, and brought people on the left and the right together with spectacular entertainment that raised issues of tolerance and morality in the best possible way. Of course, that was classic liberalism, which is viewed by today's woke pod people as right-wing bullshit from the patriarchy, and thus, just as Leia told Tarkin, "The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers," the more these creepy extremist brainwashers try to ram their bullshit down our throats, the more we gag and move away from the very principles of tolerance and equality they seemingly espouse. In short, this heavy-handed woke messaging is driving deeper wedges into society, defeating the aims of classical liberalism, and now even investors are throwing up their hands and their lunches and beating a hasty retreat away from the wokeness. The Yahoo Finance article also points out the rot at Disney is not only in the woke messaging, but also in the personnel itself. They state, quote, "The most significant issue, according to Loftus, however, lies not in the policies themselves, but in the individuals at the helm of the company." Loftus lamented the cultural and managerial shifts within Disney, linking them to the company's recent performance challenges. These sane, sober, talented, mature people are gone, and now you have the gender studies crowd running Disney, he explained. That's why their movies are flops, and their market cap, I think, is about half what it used to be. It's a tremendous loss to America. We all grew up on Disney. At the time of writing, Disney trades shares at $92.56 apiece, reflecting a nearly 4% rise year to date. However, The stock is still down over 50% from its all-time high of $201.91 recorded in March 2021, unquote.
The wages of woke is broke. Disney has been slow to learn this because the market has been slow to react. But the times they are a-changin'. They're losing Florida in a big way, and now they've just lost South Carolina.
But it's even worse than that, Harvey Cthulhu. Disney has lost its soul, and somewhere in the afterlife, Walt's frozen head is spinning. I fully expect more investors to bail as Nelson Peltz gets his message out into the world, but until Disney shapes up or ships out, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.